Okay, let's see here. It has been like over a year since I've done a stream, and I'm testing out Streamlabs. So, uh, this stream's not perfect, but I hope everything's working. Scoutman Productions, how you doing? If you can hear me, again, just making sure I'm doing this right. So, I'll give it a couple minutes, and I'll go ahead and get started here. It's been a minute since I've done this, so. Roblox Minecraft fan, how you doing? Well, okay, I guess everything's working, so that's a good sign. I will go plug this now so people can tune in. But yeah. Alright. I can hear you. Hey, that's good. Alright, cool. Perfect. Streaming now. Come join. That is not what I wanted to spell. Okay. So yeah, this stream is essentially a follow-up about A Divided Ending, was what I premiere. I'm here to answer questions too and talk about anything. So, can I ask some questions about Sunday Night Lights and A Divided Ending? Excuse me. Yeah, certainly. The only thing is, obviously, it just depends what I can say. I'll answer things. If it involves, like, what's happening down the road, I'm not going to, obviously, spoil too much, but, obviously, I'll answer things the best way that I can, obviously, so. But, yeah, please, this is also kind of a ask me anything kind of thing, so if you want to talk to me about playoffs, NASCAR, or again talk about Divided Ending, stuff like that. Basically, like kind of go over some things also that I didn't bring up in the video, or explain why things are how they were set up in a way. So nothing fancy for the stream. Again, it's been over a year since I've tried doing a stream, so yeah. Will Toyota return to ARCA? So the reason why we had Toyota drop ARCA. So, in this timeline, with the split happening, Toyota was essentially depleted when it came to NASCAR, right? So, you have BK Racing at the time, right? You had that, Furniture Row, and Premium. That was it. Obviously, Denny Hamlin in this timeline decides, you know what, I'm going to stick with NASCAR, I'm going to stay on their side. So, that's how he becomes a team owner much sooner than in real life, like 5 years sooner than he did in our timeline, in real life. So, he owns Divine Hamlin TRD, which is basically a joint thing between Toyota Racing Development, Denny Hamlin, and BK Racing. So now that Denny's kind of trying to help build Toyota's NASCAR program back, and that's why, in a way, Toyota left ARCA. They gave ARCA a couple of years and essentially kind of said, you know, we'll give you a couple of years to stabilize, but at that point, you know, we're going to stick with NASCAR. We've invested a lot more than ARCA, and that's why, you know, and because ARCA is no longer like, you know, ARCA never becomes part of NASCAR. ARCA is its completely owned thing. ARCA is essentially something where the old school NASCAR, like basically what if NASCAR stayed in 2003? That's what it is. That, you know, and it goes back to what Griff Dog had in his timeline, because this is based off of his What If Dale Earnhardt's Still Alive. As I said, it was a what if inside a what if. So that's kind of why Toyota left. They probably won't come back because you know, they just rather would stick with one. And they're going to stick with NASCAR and try and help rebuild their program. Because, again, it got depleted in this timeline. So, I appreciate the questions. Is NASCAR What If Volume 2 a possibility? I want to do more NR 2003 content. I've just, obviously, I work and all this other stuff. I do a little bit of iRacing, too. I'm not that great. But I definitely want to do, you know, other kinds of things. I had an idea that I just never got around to doing, but I would certainly love to do more smaller NR 2003 videos while working on the big projects like A Divided Ending and Sunday Night Lights. In regarding to Divided... Oh, wait. There should be a Super Bowl race. That would be fun and interesting to do, but obviously NR 2003 still has its limits. But it would be kind of cool to do. It would be fun, you know. But, yeah. Regarding the Divided Ending universe, what outside series do you think would have been a common ground for NASCAR and ARCA to compete? Are you saying like Steam's Dev? I'm sorry. Are you saying like what outside series could have benefited from the split, or because I still think NASCAR and ARCA, despite the split up, would still be relatively popular. I think IndyCar would gain a little bit of traction, maybe. But obviously NASCAR has led the forefront, and I think ARCA would do the same, but kind of be behind NASCAR in this timeline. IMSA would have been a good one because it's owned by Jim France. Yeah? Oh, I see what you mean now. I didn't see that. Okay, I see. Like, NASCAR and ARCA drivers would... Okay. Yeah, I mean, they would certainly do IMSA stuff, like, running the Rolex 24 and stuff like that. Absolutely. Certainly. Obviously, Dale Earnhardt, before he died, he ran in the Rolex 24 in 2001 with his son in the Corvettes. I kind of wonder if Dale had lived, would he have maybe at some point invested into IMSA, maybe have his own team? You never know. It would be kind of cool to see. Will you still do K-On type content? Interesting you bring that up. So, basically right now, I'm not going to say much. If you don't know, I have a TikTok where I make all my goofy, silly anime crap post memes. That's all on there. If you remember the ARB, the Alex's Random Biz videos that I've made, I'm kind of... How do I word this? Basically, I'm kind of, switching up some things, and, I'm trying to figure out ways I can help grow this channel a little more. So what I'm thinking is, for ARB content and those shorter anime memes or whatnot, basically my plan is, and I'm not going to do it right away, but I am planning a second channel for stuff like ARB. And that this channel would basically just be 100% racing, 100% creative NASCAR content, that kind of stuff. But I obviously would have this second channel for other stuff too. Therefore, I can, not drive people away and stuff like that. Don't comment around here, but longtime watcher. Just want to say that these series, Sunday Night Lights, Divided Ending, are extremely entertaining and enjoyable and loving them. Thank you so much, Dante. I really appreciate it. That's really nice of you. Thank you so much. Will Tommy Baldwin Racing continue running part-time, or will they go full-time in the future? I'm assuming that's in Divided Ending. Good question. They kind of had some momentum, because in part one, Reagan Smith won the first Pocono race and almost swept Pocono in general in 2016 and made the playoffs. So that's kind of why that team is still, having some momentum. And plus, with the divide, there's a lot of smaller teams that are going to get benefited, and there are some drivers that their careers are going to be completely different now because there's lesser competition. 2016, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. signs on with Stewart-Haas Racing, wins the championship, which sounds, I know some of you are like, how? So if you haven't seen part one, obviously be sure you check that out. I released that back in January. But, and obviously, spoilers. I'm assuming everybody here has seen a divide ending 2017-2018, but Dakota Armstrong, winning a Daytona 500, having a good 2018 season, that changed his career. And obviously Cole Witt, driving for Divine Hamlin TRD, again, his career has changed and altered. So it's very interesting to see how things net out with certain drivers and how their careers are now going to play out differently because of it. Let's see. Well, what if Dale Earnhardt is still alive 2022? Yeah, the reason why I haven't done 2022 for that was mainly because, I already was working on the divided ending and other stuff. And I just kind of let it slide. I might get back to it at some point, but right now, obviously, I have some bigger things that I want to work on. So, just kind of holding out on that for right now. If Jeff Gordon isn't the Rainbow Warrior, will Bill Davis Racing exist for a little longer in SNL? Will Jeff stay in Bill Davis by 2015-16 if BDR exists by then? Anything can happen. That's the fun part. What happens? And in Sunday Night Lights, Jeff Gordon came in and literally lit the world on fire, and he's much a bigger hype of a prospect than he was in our timeline. So I can't say what's going to happen. I haven't done the races yet, but I will here soon. I will get to work on Sunday Night Lights 93 through 95 soon. I got, as I mentioned before, I am working on a non-Enter 2003 video that is going to be a big part of the future of this channel. Again, I won't say much about that. But yeah, anything could happen. Jeff Gordon could turn Bill Davis Racing into an absolute powerhouse. Maybe Jeff goes to another team at some point. Maybe Jeff busts. Anything can happen. So, you never know. Jeff Gordon definitely's got the potential to kick some ass for sure. Just gotta see what happens, So that's gonna be the fun part, to see how everything nets out, especially now we're gonna get to the point where, obviously Tim Richmond's been alive still. What if Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison, and Clifford Allison were still alive? I think there was a quote somewhere that Davey actually believed that his younger brother Clifford was actually the better driver. I think I read a quote from that somewhere, so it's interesting. Obviously I won't spoil too much. But, yeah. Jet. Hi, Jet. There you are. Yep. Jet's here. Big thanks to him. He's really helped out a lot with the Divide ending and even Sunday Night Lights and has given me some good ideas. Here's a fun fact. So, I like to get ahead of the game. So, after the first Divided ending came out at the start of this year, we started already kind of planning out what 2017 and such was going to look like. Just to kind of be ahead to when I was done with SNL 92, and I could jump back to that and be ready for that. So that's kind of where we were. Around that time, we were kind of going over, like, what is Silly Season 2017 going to look like? And we brought up, and then Jet brought up, hey, maybe Jacques Villeneuve would come over and do NASCAR because there's lesser competition, give it a try. And so that's how he ended up in the 37 for JTG. Well, a week later, in real life, it was announced that Villeneuve was going to attempt the Daytona 500 with Team Hesselberg. So in some ways, we kind of predicted that, which is kind of funny. Will there be new part-time teams over time? Certainly, that's a possibility. Obviously, just gathering around some ideas and seeing what fits, what works, would this, because of the split, would this team do that? Would this driver do that? Obviously, I won't spoil much, but I think there's certainly the possibility for new teams to come in because, again, there's lesser competition and everything else. So, yeah. Will Ayrton Senna still be alive in SNL? Will he run a NASCAR race there? Let's see. How do I answer this? So, I I've been kind of toying around with stuff like that, like, in that timeline, kind of, as references say, yeah, Senna's still alive. What if Greg Moore was still around? What if Dan Weldon never died, or Paul Dana, or whoever? That's something that I think I want to still think on, but it certainly would be fun to do if we went with that. So I don't know yet, but that, or just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much, but I do like that idea, and it's just something I have to think about more with Ayrton Senna. It would be fun though, because I want to venture into all sorts of stuff like that in this timeline, and create this. Again, SNL is just basically creating a whole new timeline of events that date back to 1981. I began production of this right before the... what happened in 2020. You know what happened. I don't think it needs to be mentioned anymore. We've all been accustomed to it. But yeah, and that's how I was able to get the prologue done pretty fast, was obviously being cooped up in my home. Even though I had a job still, I just had some more downtime because of it. So, yeah. See, I appreciate your all's questions. What can I bring up more about Divide ending? So, one cool thing I don't think I brought up before with the schedule, because this video was this was like the biggest video I've ever done. That video, I was amazed at how long I made it. I was scared that I was going to have issues rendering the video, but I luckily had no issues at all getting the video uploaded. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm just glad it all went well. I admit it was at times exhausting, because I wanted to make sure that this video was done well. I admit I made a couple of mistakes in the video. I showed that Marathon became the official fuel of ARCA. I think I had an audio clip recorded, and I never put it in. Because I was so burnt out at that point, I didn't quite register it. The other one was that scary Tommy Joe Martin's crash in Chicagoland 2018 in ARCA. I said something along the lines of Tommy Joe Martin's, and it cut off, because what happened was, for some reason, I got the Chicagoland races mixed up, because Blaney and Vickers had a moment at Chicagoland 2017. I cut out the part where I accidentally said Ryan Blaney. I meant to say J.J. Healy. And once again, I recorded that, and oops, I forgot to put that clip in. And I went, ugh! But yeah, I apologize for that. Again, it was a long video, and I didn't catch it. So my apologies there for that. If you need clarification on that later, I can explain why. When will Dodge return to NASCAR on Sunday Night Lights? I won't spoil too much. It's all good. Wait. Oh, crap, I misread that. I thought for some reason it said Dodge. I'm blind. I'm sorry. Yesterday and today, I had a really early shift at work where I was working 4 a.m. to noon, so... sorry. When will Talladega return? Okay. Obviously, that was touched up on in Sunday Night Lights. You will know in the meantime, I promise. You will know in the next Sunday Night Lights video what's going on, and we'll cover more into that. So I know it's kind of a cliffhanger right now, but we will dive more into that in that video. And we got some good stuff planned. We got some. Let's read into Dodge Raceway Stadium, right? Dodge Raceway Stadium. Why not? Yeah, speaking of which, obviously at some point Dodge probably comes back anyway. But I won't get too much into that right now. We still got the 90s to get through. So, will Lake Speed Jr. race in SNL? Lake Speed Jr. Wait a minute. Let me look this up. This is something I may not know. Which, to quote Griff Dog, I may have to say noted. Lake Speed, Jr. Lake Speed Jr. is the son of former NASCAR driver and team owner Lake Speed, a former crew member for Chad Knaus at Melling Racing. He joined the Joe Gibbs team in 2004 and led the creation of Joe Gibbs Driven Racing. Really? How did I not know this? Scott, man, thank you for bringing that up. I had no idea Lake Speed had a son. Okay, I feel bad. Thank you, though. Seriously, noted. I'll have to look up more about him, but he led the creation of Driven Racing Oil. How did I not know that? That's good to know. That's good to know. Because that's funny. When Griff Dog made One More Spark, I didn't know about Casey Elliott. I didn't know about the Tim Steele, Nike, Sony, Brett Favre ordeal. I didn't know about Chicago Motor Speedway. And I've been following NASCAR since 2004. So I loved learning that kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, this is so unique. I didn't know about that. It's just fun to consume all, especially in this day and age. You can find the info anywhere, literally in your pocket with that little rectangular device you have called your smartphone. Like, it is amazing what you can dig up and find. Yeah, thank you, Scott, man. I did not know that about Lake Speed Jr. That is pretty cool. That's funny. Okay. Seriously, once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is a stream where you can ask me anything. I'm going to, again, I know I've been backtracking, but I'm discussing about Divided Ending. If you have any questions about why certain things occurred and all that. Will Jimmy Johnson race in NASCAR by 2022 in Divided Ending? Just kind of depends. I think a lot of it just depends. Which, by the way, speaking of Jimmy Johnson, Jet, if you want to leave the link again to the poll, it closes this coming Sunday afternoon. It's open up for a week after the premiere. But at the end of the video, I brought up that, Jet has made these paint schemes and an idea for you guys to decide what Jimmy Johnson's paint scheme will look like for the next Divided Ending video when we reach 2019 and all that. Having the idea of a sponsor in Rakuten because Ally became the sponsor for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who, again, is a champion in this timeline. So, yeah. So, I know Jets Racing Designs on his Twitter has a link to the poll. If you haven't voted yet, again, just take a look at all the paint schemes and which one you like, and eventually we'll announce the winner. So, there it is right there. Vote here. I'll be a politician for a second. Go out and vote. But yeah, not going to dive down that rabbit hole. No. But yeah, go ahead and vote in that link there if you haven't already. And for those of you that have voted, thank you so much. And seriously, thank you. Thank you for checking out the video during the premiere or after the premiere or whenever. We're almost at 500 views, which is awesome. So I'm very thankful. And I really appreciate all of you, so thank you. It means a lot. I just want to provide the best content I can and for people to enjoy and all that kind of stuff. Plus, alternate history's fun. It is. It's a lot of fun to do. Obviously, I have to say that Griff Dog was a huge inspiration. With his stuff like What If Dale Earnhardt's Still Alive? What if Jerry Nadeau stayed Hendrick? One More Spark. So there's a lot of people I want to thank for sure. Jet, Ferris, Rose Jam, and all sorts of people for just being supportive of what we want to do. And I promise that even though I've been working and being an adult and doing adult things that adults do, I promise you that more videos are on the way. That's kind of why I haven't uploaded as much lately. That's also a reason why I never made a playoff prediction video. I was more focused on getting this video done. That was the big focus. I wanted to get that done. Griff Dog and you make an amazing duo. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Griff is awesome, and I love the idea of being able to create and have that creativity and have that creative freedom and just being able to have fun with it. I think that's what's important. So it's just being able to have fun. That's part of life. Being able to have fun and you're happy and that kind of stuff. NBR's Davey Allison series. Yeah, I think I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen some videos of that. I think it's pretty cool. I love stuff like that. I remember, I think back in the spring of 2020, and the height of as the Game Grumps called it, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. I made a video called "What If Alan Kawicki Was Still Alive." I want to do more videos like that eventually. Maybe do a video on like, what if Dale Earnhardt went to Robert Yates, or what if Dale Jr. went to JGR, or what if this track had a cup date in 2022? Which I kind of did earlier this year. I tried to do like I found a clip of a Crank It Up, because every now and then I just like to sit down late in the day or whatever, and if I'm not doing anything, I'll just start listening to Crank It Up videos from different seasons in NASCAR. But there was a clip for the 2022 Vegas race, and I had the idea of like, you know what, because Kentucky was my home track. I grew up going to races there. What if I did a fun little thing where I did a Crank It Up, at Kentucky with the next gen cars, and all that. So that was fun to make. I know the audio wasn't in sync, but I did the best I could. But that was still fun to make. I certainly wouldn't mind doing small stuff like that too. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about divide ending, I wonder if Earnhardt will move to Yates and SNL. Yeah, again, anything can happen. Obviously, I think he's pretty contempt at Richard Childress Racing, but things can change, obviously. You never know. Things can change. Anything can change, really, I mean, I had, in the Sunday Night Lights timeline, keep in mind, Davey Allison was 5 years into his career, hadn't won, and he was struggling. He finally gets a win in 91, moving over to his dad's team, and somehow is able to capture the championship. So that was certainly interesting. Pretty cool at the same time, because now, Bobby Allison can feel like, hey, you know what, I can push my team a little bit more. So yeah. Excuse me. What else? But yeah, in Divide Ending, NASCAR pretty much kind of doubles down. What's this? Why isn't Lake Speed's son named Pond? For some reason, I was thinking of former NASCAR driver Lenny Pond. Then I was like, Pond Speed. Because, okay, now jeez. Okay. Pond Speed. I need to cut back soda, but Mountain Dew Code Red has always been a favorite of mine. Anyway. What if Jimmy Johnson drove the 24 Lowe's in 2002? Future SNL idea. I mean, again, anything can happen with Johnson too. I can't tell you where he's going to wind up because I have no idea. But certainly, there's a lot of possibilities. Will Bobby Allison's team stay for much longer? As of right now, probably. Considering that, Davey just won him a championship. Clifford is coming up. Certainly a possibility. I'm really intrigued to see the direction of that team and where they end up. Especially like once we get into the early 2000s and where they kind of stand at that point. I'm really intrigued to see how that winds up. I'm kind of curious. So. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out in a Divided Ending, and I guess a couple crazy moments where this was more so the magic of NR 2003, and little did I expect something like this to happen, but more the fact that in 2018, number one, I brought up Danica Patrick in the lore because Griff had stated when he kind of had his recap of what if Dylan Hurt is still alive? He brought up how basically, Danica kind of just stuck with IndyCar. So I felt like she would have gone on a tear and win some races at some point. So, and basically have the idea of her doing the Charlotte Indy double in her final season, and she somehow wins the 600. So, I remember when I did that race, I just went, okay, well, how about that? The other one, of course, was Cody Ware, which is funny because, of course, I did the 2018 Coke 0400 before the 2022 happened in real life. And I remember watching those closing laps of the Coke 0400 a couple weeks ago. I was cheering for Cody Ware so much, I'm not going to lie. And he was third on that final lap. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, is Divided Ending about to predict the future? So that, obviously, I wish Cindric would have stuck with him, but I understand what Cindric was trying to do. He was trying to make sure his teammate got in the playoffs, Ryan Blaney. But, oh my God, what could have been if Cody Ware had won that? So, he's a 2-time Cup winner in Divided Ending. Who thought that was going to happen? NR 2003 is such a magical game. That game's going to be 20 years old soon. Can you believe that? 20 years. That's amazing. After Neil Bonnet retires, he's still gonna commentate on CBS TNN. Probably, because I know he was already doing some broadcast work. I think pretty much after he retires, I'll answer that question. Yeah, he probably still goes into broadcasting and does that for quite some time for sure. Yeah, I see that. I can see that happening for sure. Man. Let me pull up some more stuff here. Yeah, I'm not sure why my thumbnail's not updated. That's a very old thumbnail. By the way, Jets Racing Designs also made the thumbnail for this stream, if it is updated at all. It should say, like, a Divided Ending 2017-2018 discussion and all that stuff. But, did anyone here catch the hidden secret I put on Tony Stewart's final seat? Yeah! Yeah! Yeah. Yeah, again, that was one of the cars that Jet made, was Tony Stewart's final ride. Again, I remembered that, Griff had Tony Stewart give himself 3 more years, so I honored that. And that's, again, part of the reason why Stewart Haas is still a Chevy team right now, is because Tony was still racing, and obviously he's got his sprint car program and all that. So that's why Tony's been... SHR is still with Chevrolet. Now, will they continue to be with Chevrolet? Who knows? I can't answer that right now, but yeah, there is a hidden secret put on Tony's final season car for 2018. If nobody caught it, Jet, if you want to explain what it is, you certainly could. Will ARCA switch to the Gen 6 and Divided Ending? Probably not, because this is a completely different ARCA. More than just better brakes. Basically, obviously I used the Penny Series mod for the 2018 cars, and the reason why is because ARCA can kind of distinct themselves. Obviously, Project Power Stock is essentially a car that's still very similar to how the Gen 4 car races, but it's more modernized and has some safety upgrades for sure, probably. Because the OEMs would have looked at ARCA and be like, hey, except for Toyota, of course, the other 3 would have been like, hey, we support what you're doing, we can support you in NASCAR, but you can't, I understand you want to go this route of the more traditional, old school kind of racing, where it's more about just, I guess, driver skill and race one to race whatever for the championship, no playoffs, just, classic NASCAR, I guess, is what it is. They told ARCA, ran by Dale Earnhardt, Joe Gibbs and company, like, hey, you can't continue to run this race car. It's not 2003 anymore. You got to change something up. So, like, all right, let's go to the drawing board and let's figure out what we can do. And that's where the Project Power Stock comes in. So, yeah, even though it's the Penny Series mod, essentially the idea is that it is a modernized, newer version of what the Gen 4 car was. Um, 20 years of Enter 2003. Man, I'm old, right? I feel old. I'm 25, and I feel old already, knowing that a lot of the guys I grew up watching are retired. I mean, next year, we could see the retirements of Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and possibly Kurt Busch, depending on his situation. That's like the end of an era almost at that point. The old dogs are gone. We now have Elliott and Larson and Blaney and Bubba and Reddick and all these other guys, and Ty Gibbs eventually coming in. So, could McLaren possibly jump into either NASCAR or ARCA in a divided ending? I don't know. Good question. I don't really know. So, I guess anything's a possibility. If there's a possibility that something could make sense, then certainly an idea that can be looked at. All sorts of ideas we always have, and kind of share back and forth and try to see what fits and what makes sense. Because, we don't want to throw something out there and be like, hey, here's what we're doing. We got to be like, we're going to do this, and this is why, essentially. Ford, Chevy, Mopar, Chrysler, we still support ARCA. Toyota, ARCA's boring. I mean, yeah. But again, as I mentioned earlier, Toyota just basically was like, we want to invest more in the NASCAR. We want our focus to be there. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Tony Stewart's final season car is the same design as his 2006 car, but in Mobil 1 colors. Since in this timeline, 2006 was his one championship in this timeline. That's right. Yeah, I really like that reference. That's definitely one of my favorites from what the cars that Jet made. I also really like the Exalta car he made for Casey Kane in 2018. That was pretty cool. If Harvick, Truex, and Kurt Busch retire in 2019, who will replace them? Well, in Divided Ending, I don't think they're going to retire just yet. Now, if you mean in real life, that would make Silly Season 2024 really interesting. But in real life, yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, Kyle Busch is the domino waiting to be fallen. We're kind of sitting there waiting to see what Kyle's gonna do, and it looks like the three teams that right now are talking to him are Colleague, Richard Childress Racing, and 2311. So, I'm kind of intrigued where Kyle could go. If Kyle goes to RCR, does Tyler Reddick just jump the ship to 2311 now? I don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, even back when I went to Indy and I went to Bob Pockrass's tweet up when we were talking about that, Bob was just like, one day it's like 65, Wednesday it was 65% he's going to stay at JGR, then Thursday it was like 35%, then it's 55% on Friday. This whole thing has been interesting. I didn't think when they announced that M&M's and Mars were leaving NASCAR, I didn't think that there was a possibility. I was just kind of like, well, I guess Kyle will have to find a new sponsor or two. I really did not expect to end up that Kyle Busch is probably leaving the same team he's been with since 2008. So, what are your playoff predictions for real life? So yeah, I know I didn't have a video this time around. Essentially, my championship 4, I think it'll be Elliott, Larson, Hamlin, and Logano. And as of right now, I think Chase Elliott will get his second championship. But after Darlington, kind of holding my breath a little bit because this season has been wacky. This season has been kind of goofy at times. I feel like anything can happen. If there was an out of this world unexpected champion, it would be this season. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, I don't know. For all I know, Tyler Reddick may somehow win the championship. You know, who knows? That's how this season has been, and this season has been a banger. I mean, this is some of the best racing we have seen in quite a while. I mean, I've been really amazed with how the next gen car has performed. I know some people are kind of concerned with its safety, but overall, though, the racing has been pretty good. Will Kyle Busch still be sponsored by M&M's in 2023 in Divide Ending, or will he have a new sponsor? That's a good question. Obviously, in that timeline, Kyle Busch is coming off a championship in 2018, heading into 2019. He's a driver owner with KBM. So, good question. Again, I think it just all kind of depends how things play out. So, excuse me. Yeah, I would say it just kind of depends how things play out and how things work out. You know, I think, again, anything can happen. So, again, I won't tease too much about the next Divide Ending video. I will hint that 2020 will be an interesting year in that timeline for sure. And I'll leave it as that, so I don't spoil too much. The next gen saved NASCAR in real life, as we all know, but will it save NASCAR in Divide Ending? Yeah, good question there. Good question. That's going to be fun to explore when we get to that point, for sure. Now that ARCA has their own race car, and NASCAR is getting down that path too. So right now, I think NASCAR has the upper hand. You know, I think NASCAR's not going to die here. It's not. ARCA's been able to stabilize and kind of have what their idea for racing is. Meanwhile, NASCAR is kind of pushing towards the casual audience, towards being a little more radical by pushing towards new fan bases, trying different things, and all that fun stuff. Hence why 2021 happened 5 years sooner. Adding Nashville Super Speedway, adding Gateway, adding COTA, Montreal, that kind of stuff. And, NASCAR kind of switching some things up because they doubled down on these changes that they made and just kind of like, this is what we're sticking with. And, ARCA's kind of like, well, okay, that's your vision. Our vision is flat out, pure, traditional stock car racing. That's basically what it is. And, I think if I was in that timeline, I think I'd probably end up watching both because I love racing, right? I would be like, I love racing, I'll watch both, which is funny because obviously I grew up a Dale Jr. fan, so obviously that would be a reason for watching ARCA. And I would still watch NASCAR too. But it's kind of interesting with the perspectives, but NASCAR has a ton of momentum because 2017, Chase Elliott, a rookie champion, that is something that I think could make headlines nationally, and that is something that I think NASCAR would absolutely sell, going into 2018. And then he wins the Daytona 500. Chase Elliott is practically a man that's going to lead NASCAR to the future in this timeline. He's already doing it, and it's quite impressive. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has become a pretty solid driver. Ryan Truex has become a really good driver. That was fun too doing 2018 because it ended up kind of being the two brothers. Since the Busch brothers kind of split, Kurt's in NASCAR, Kyle's in ARCA. Meanwhile, the Truex brothers are racing together in NASCAR. And again, I think that's what helps kind of swing NASCAR in their direction. Swinging the favor in their direction right now is stuff like that. And that was fun, kind of seeing, MTJ and Ryan Truex go after each other. Yeah, I don't want to get political. It's all good though. I just don't want to get political. No, let's try and steer clear of politics. I don't want to cause anything or start anything. Let's, my rules are simple for streams: have fun and just be good to one another. So, I know politics are scary to talk about. Sup, boss man? I'm the guy in Brayton server who said I love your work. Hey, yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Wolf Gaming Network. Thank you. I appreciate it, seriously. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining the stream. Just kind of doing a little, Q&A, talking about a Divide Ending more. So, obviously I'm opening the floor. If anybody has any questions or anything else, I am willing to answer them the best way I can in certain things and all that fun stuff. So, what else can I bring up with a Divided Ending? Obviously, one thing we brought up in 2018 was the deal between ISC and Speedway Motorsports and how they'll alter the All-Star race and the season finale. So, for 2018, you notice that Las Vegas got the season finale for SMI, and in return, ISC had the All-Star race at Homestead of Miami, and that'll alter next season as the years go on. I'm not going to tell you what we have in store for 2019 to avoid spoilers, but I promise you we will get there when we get there. And yeah, all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, it's a basic stream. I haven't done a stream in like a year, so I'm just kind of here talking. Try not to make sure there's no dead air. 2018 cars are very nice in ARCA. Good choice of the Corvette, Mustang. Yeah, Jet helped out with the Chrysler. And again, the reason why FCA switched from Dodge to Chrysler and ARCA is mainly because they feel like with the Chrysler 300, it could fit ARCA's demographic a little bit more. Since ARCA's kind of, the old school traditional kind of racing. Will we see ARCA or NASCAR do more international races to try and lure in foreign manufacturers? NASCAR is probably more likely to do that here. Obviously, right now, the Cup Series is racing at Montreal. They've been doing that for a couple of years. And NASCAR would probably look into perhaps doing that, maybe go overseas at some point. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I think NASCAR would probably be more interested in doing that. Which driver do you think in both NASCAR and ARCA have the most momentum going into 2019? Oh, this is a little interesting. I like this one. I guess in terms of ARCA, I think the best team overall, obviously, the first two seasons was all Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch winning it in 2018. I think KBM's a pretty strong team. I think DEI is probably one of the best teams in ARCA right now. Dale Jr. is still doing pretty well. McMurray's been putting together some good results. Jeffrey Earnhardt obviously has been doing well. The Corvette, that was fun to do. I'm glad we picked that because if they're gonna try and do a new spin on the traditional style of stock car auto racing, hey, why not bring in the Corvette? But that's a interesting question there. Obviously, I kind of put down list of winners on like a Google sheet I have here. I think Chris Buescher is certainly a driver with some momentum. He kind of went on a hot spell in the second half of 2018. He won, I think, I want to say he won 3. Yeah, he won 3 races in 2018. And I think it'll be interesting to see like how long certain veterans like Dale Jr., like Jamie McMurray, like Ryan Newman, how long do those guys, or Clint Boyer, how long do those guys continue to race for? Do they race a little bit longer? Obviously, I kind of hinted that in Divide Ending that Dale Jr. is signed through 2020. So yeah, I think that's something to look after. Ryan Blaney, driving for the Wood Brothers, I think he's going to be someone to look after. In NASCAR, Ryan Truex, I think he's going to be someone to watch. Stuart Haas as a whole has been dominant. Hendrick has struggled. Despite Chase has basically been their best driver. Byron didn't do that well his rookie year. I expect him to get better. We'll see. Johnson, kind of a bummer. He missed the playoffs because of Cody Ware getting in, which is weird. So I think Hendrick will eventually turn things around like they did in real life. MTJ is riding on a ton of momentum. He's killing it just like he did in real life. So, yeah, 2018 will be interesting. Or 2019 will be interesting for sure to see how things continue on. Will the Camaro and Mustangs join Cup? Yes. The Camaro and Mustang were used in 2018 for Divided Ending. And again, the reason why is because we went ahead and jumped to the Monster Energy 2019 mod because we didn't feel like doing 1 year with the 2018 mod and then having to recreate all the cars again for 2019. We just kind of decided to stick with that and work with that for a while. Who's your pick for Kansas? That's a good question. I usually do like a pick 4. I think, watch this, we get another playoff spoiler. By the way, I am thrilled for Eric Jones. Like, I am so thrilled for him and Petty GMS that, they were able to get a big win like that. And I really, next season, watch out for Eric Jones and Petty GMS. That team's going to be a threat to make the playoffs. Okay, Kansas. If I had to pick some early favorites, I would throw in Kyle Busch. Maybe even MTJ. I'll throw in Kevin Harvick. And I think this is a track where Chase Elliott can rebound on as well. So I think those are some picks there for sure. I don't know if this is already said. Will we see the really sucky virus of 2020? And if so, will it delay the next gen debut? I did mention earlier, I won't give too much away, but obviously 2020 will be an interesting season for Divide Ending. I will tease that. So stay tuned for that. 2020 is going to be interesting, for sure. So, yeah, obviously, we all know what happened in 2020, and it sucked. It sucked a lot. It did. So, God, 2020 just felt like a fever dream at times. It really did. I'll take a drink really quick. My throat's bothering me. All right. How long have we been going for now? Almost an hour. Almost an hour. I'll stick around a little bit longer, if you have any questions. Like I said, if you haven't voted in the poll for Johnson's 2019 scheme, Jet left a link in the chat you can find and cast your vote there. Absolutely, race fan. Absolutely, it was a fever dream. I remember when it all happened, when it all started, and it was just like, what the heck is going on? Suddenly, we went from, in the span of like not even 24 hours, the entire world shut down. Does Brian France still lead NASCAR after 2019? Probably. Just because I think I'm not sure, but I thought Brian was already considering kind of backing out, and that NASCAR has very much similar leadership as they do in real life now. So, obviously, I also brushed up on some stuff about the lower series. I didn't sim any of that. It was just more of like, here's what's going on. Just to kind of make things flow in and make things, I guess, more balanced out, if that makes sense. How much of divided ending is scripted? All of it was the AI playing out. We made the cars, I rated them, and let the races run. It was pretty much all the AI playing out. Whatever happened, happened. And whenever I do that, sometimes you get some interesting winners. I've already seen that case in Sunday Night Lights, and in Divided Ending, same deal. It's just I let the AI cars determine what happened, and I ended up giving Chase Elliott a championship already, and a Daytona 500. It gave Dakota Armstrong a couple wins that included a 500. Cole Witt getting a win. And a bunch of other things too. So, yeah, that is all the AI. That is all the AI. In terms of scripted, the only thing that's scripted is really the story itself and the lore, as Griff would put it. The lore. But yeah, just the lore and story. That's the only thing that's scripted. Because obviously I need to write out a script for that, is what I meant. Just kind of like write out what I want to say and what makes sense to the story and how I want to present it. But yeah, the racing and all that is AI playing it out. That's what's fun about, that's what I love about NR 2003, is just being able to do that. I was like, well, I can just let the cars decide let them do what they want to do. The most random winner you've seen in any NR 2003 race you simmed. Oh, this is a good question. I can name quite a few. I can name quite a few. In Sunday Night Lights, 92, Mark Thompson won the first Cup race in Michigan. In the prologue of Sunday Night Lights, J.D. McDuffie won at Michigan in 1985. Obviously, in Divided Ending, 2016, Con Nicopolis winning at Talladega. That was probably one of the biggest ones. And obviously, more recent, Divided Ending 2018, Danica Patrick winning the 600 and Cody Ware winning at Daytona and Richmond. So, those are some prime examples of what I feel like are like the most random winners I've had, and of all the races I've done and simmed and all that. It's fun to do and just kind of sit back and go, huh. Biggest upset in your NR 2003 what if so far. The other one was when I did the What If Dale Earnhardt Still Alive 2021, and BJ McLeod won at Pocono for Live Fast. I still don't know how that happened. For whatever reason, that Pocono track can provide some interesting ones. I mentioned this earlier. Reagan Smith, 2016 Divided Ending. That's another one for sure. Wouldn't it be cool if I made enough alternate timelines and like had my own little multiverse or something like that, and eventually did like an all-star thing of some of the best drivers from all the different timelines? That would be fun to do. But again, it's just a fantasy right now. Kind of focused on some stuff right now. Obviously, I got a non-NR 2003 video that I have planned and I'll be working on very soon that is going to play a massive part in the future of this channel. And then after that, it's on to the next Sunday Night Lights part, 1993 to 1995. So, oh man, I feel like we're going to get to the 2000s in that timeline before we know it. The SR831 multiverse. Oh, heck yeah, that would be fun. Have a fun little multiverse like that. That would be cool. What's everyone's favorite original schemes for Divided Ending in SNL? Ooh, yeah, I want to hear this from you people. What do y'all think? plus Griff Dog and MBR. Certainly, yeah, they play parts too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Excuse me. But yeah, that's a really fun question to ask everybody, Jet. I like that idea. Yeah, let me know what some of your favorite original schemes for both of those timelines are. We'd love to hear it. Excuse me. But yeah, with this divide ending video, basically, I have to look this up because sometimes I can be quite forgetful. Okay, yeah, Jet made that car. Jeff Gordon's 90, because that got revealed. Jeff Gordon's 93 SNL scheme. Will we get the Corvette factory team in ARCA as a one-off in Sebring? That would certainly be interesting, or at least like Corvette would play a huge part in like the promotion, promoting the race or something like that. Ricky Rudd Gatorade schemes, the Tim Richmond 51. Certainly, yeah. Davies Mountain Dew scheme. Yep, I made that one. Very, very proud of that. Very simple scheme for the 90s. Hey, MF, how you doing? Yeah, sorry, I meant to post the stream around in some other places, but I kind of just got backtracked and all that. So, what did I want to look up? Okay, so Sunday Night Lights 92. Let me see. Yeah, that video came out June 17th. Okay. I'm pretty sure I started working on Divided Ending as I was finishing that video, I think. I think. So, yeah, because I think I remember doing some of the 2017 races when I went to St. Louis and visited my dad and went to the first Cup race at Gateway. Griff Dog's number 3 Reese's car. Oh, yeah! Yeah, and what if Dale Hart was still alive? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that Reese's car he made. Absolutely. I also love the Coca-Cola schemes he made later on. I really like that 2011 one because it was nice and simple. But, yeah, there's some pretty good schemes from that for sure. I have a question for what if Dylan Hart's still alive. How many wins does Jeremy Mayfield have? I would have to go back and check what Griff had for all the winners in his timeline. That's a good question though. We could probably check that for sure. I think for Griff's thing that could be I think he might have a better answer for that. Adam Petty reverse sprint scheme. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, lost my train of thought for a second. Hold on. Yeah, I've been working on and off, and there was a time where, I really didn't work on it much because I was moving, and I was just all over the place and burnt out, but I try to avoid the burnout, but yeah. Will Jarrett stay with Gibbs? Will Irvin go to Yates? Yeah, it all depends. Anything can happen. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I mean, we got all sorts of ideas, and it all nets out. It just kind of depends what happens. So, I'm intrigued by this concept, even though I haven't kept up with it much. That's all right. I mean, like I said, I think in the end, working on a divided ending was pretty fun. Again, just kind of seeing what would happen in a world where, NASCAR or stock car racing has their version of the IndyCar split. The Kyle Busch. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That M&M scheme on a Corvette looks pretty awesome. Overall, I really love the Corvette paint schemes that I made. I did make every single ARCA car, and I I will credit Paint by Ross, Stunod, Murray Sim Racing Designs for the bases. I did use some bases, and I obviously give them a lot of credit for those bases because I don't want to, not credit anybody. That wouldn't be right. Who has the most momentum in SNL 93? Woo! That's a good question. Well, I have to think on that. Jeff Gordon for sure. I mean, he's going to be a huge story going into the season regardless. I think another driver to talk about is Patty Moyes, for sure, because she's becoming like that female superstar in this timeline. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going. I haven't done any races for SNL 93 yet, but we'll get to that very soon. And I'll be sure to. I'm going to try and. Excuse me. I'm going to try and do a better job of keeping up and just kind of updating you all on what's going on, what's happening. It's like, here's what I have done so far and stuff like that. I try to do that with a divided ending. But, yeah. But, yeah, SNL 93, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Will Patty be better than Danica? I mean, if I compare Sunday Night Lights Patty Moyes to in real life Danica, I think Patty's already found success. She's gotten some Busch wins. She got a cup win. And I think she's got a lot of momentum on her side for sure. So her career is already looking to be prolonged, and that's what's going to be fun. I have another question. It's for what if Dale Earnhardt was still alive? Did Denny Hamlin still get injured just like real life? I don't think so. Again, I think Griff might be able to answer that a little bit more because what if Dale Earnhardt was still alive by Griff Dog? That was his thing. A divide ending is basically his timeline, but it ends different. So 2015 is the point of divergence, and basically that's where those timelines split off and be their own thing. So see, it's the multiverse, right? It's the multiverse. How much better is SNL Patty compared to IRL? I mean, I thought Patty Moyes was always a pretty solid driver in real life. Only difference here is that, she finished, was it 91? Yeah, it was 91 that I think she finished second in points to Jeff Gordon. I think, yeah, by like 24 points. So, glad I remembered that. I think Patty's found some decent success. But now it's going to be interesting to see if she can build off of that for sure. Could we see short 20, 30-minute race highlights in divided ending that don't get put in the main vid? I made a joke with some of the wrecks that you saw in there. Like, I could reference Griff's analyzing the big one videos. Or maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but maybe, like, do a quick video where I cover the All-Star race or something like that. I don't know. That's just one of the many ideas I have for this channel heading forward. Will Nextel Sprint Monster Energy still sponsor Cup? Will Truck Series still exist? You will know in due time, my good friend. You will know in due time how everything with that nets out. We got tons of ideas. And it just kind of depends how it all nets out and what we think. And we may have some new ideas down the road too, and all that fun stuff. Let's see. How much do we got now? Minute 10. Not minute 10. Geez, an hour and 10 minutes. All right. I think another idea for your channel would be what if Adam Petty and Kenny Irwin. Yeah, that would be fun to do. If I did something like that, I want to do. Like I said, I would love to do more what if stuff in general. I just kind of want to. I need to lay out a plan of how to do things, what I want to do, how much time it's going to take. because obviously I don't want to spend all my time outside of work working on this stuff. Obviously, I will have time to work on this stuff, but obviously, try to enjoy myself a little bit, and I need to exercise a little bit more. I won't lie. But like I said, I did a what if Alan Kowicki was still alive. I want to do more stuff. Jet, just one little slip up. This was the longest 1 minute stream ever. I know, right? It's like the Kentucky Derby. That's the fastest 2 minutes in racing. But which fun fact? I actually went to the Kentucky Derby one year in 2008. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to do more what if stuff. Obviously the first one was what if the Cup Series ran at IRP. I do want to get back to that. Just kind of want to restructure things with the channel right now. So, yeah, absolutely. All sorts of what ifs I want to play out in SNL too. Like you mentioned, Blaze Alexander, Eric Martin, Casey Elliott, and whoever else. Just I try to keep track and have a list of stuff and ideas of how to play things out. Oh, man. So much talking. But, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to doing SNL 93, 95 and seeing how that all nets out. Both would still be live in SNL probably. Oh, yeah. Again, similar to One More Spark. What if they all were still alive? How different would racing and NASCAR look? And how would all these drivers end up? How eventually get into how would Blaze Alexander's career had played out? How would Adam Petty's career played out? In One More Spark, 9/11 didn't happen. Will it in SNL? I don't know yet, honestly. I haven't thought much about that. Obviously, the anniversary's coming up for that, and obviously, never forget. And now, oh my gosh, I don't know. So I had an original. This just popped up in my head. I may save this for another time to explain it. I had an original rendition of Sunday Night Lights from like 2018. I had scrapped it because I didn't like how it was playing out, and I kind of went back to the drawing board, and then ended up with the SNL that we have now. But I may dive into that another time. Let me see. I have a question, and everything Griffdog said in his would have done. I was still is. So, do you think that would happen in real life? Sorry to ask. What did you mean by that, JT? Sorry about that. But yeah, I made that they were the SR-831 iceberg original SNL plans. Yeah. I don't know what level that would be. I don't think I have enough to have my own iceberg anyway. But because I like to make that joke because I know there's all sorts of like iceberg stuff with shows and all I think someone's made like Dale Earnhardt. Okay. Like what would I think? Like, what do I think would have happened? My own take of what if Dale Earnhardt still lived? I mean, anything could have happened. Maybe Dale gets his 8th title. Maybe he doesn't. I think DEI is certainly still a team today. I think Junior would have found more success. I thought Junior was still successful, but obviously he would have had championships possibly. I know. But of course, the other thing I want to bring up is with all those safety enhancements that occurred when Dale died, what could have happened? if Dale hadn't died? You know, what would have it taken NASCAR to finally do some safety enhancements? That's the scary part. That's just something to think about. Could we see North Wilkesboro or Bowman Gray return the Cup and or ARCA in divided ending? I kind of just play it by season. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I know North Wilkesboro is finally making a comeback now, so I'm not really entirely sure yet. I don't know about Cup. I mean, maybe ARCA does one of them. I don't really know just yet. Again, just something to think about. Any plans to include the SRX? Not right now. I think right now the big focus in divided ending is just the NASCAR Cup Series and ARCA. And of course, I know I do cover the smaller series. I do bring up too that the ARCA Lincoln Wilders Truck Series still exists in this timeline as a feeder series for ARCA. So the ARCA trucks never died in this timeline, and it has a much bigger field and schedule. Let's see, one more question. Is Jimmy Johnson still a 7-time champ? So, excuse me. Well, in divided ending, I think he's only a 2-time champion right now. Well, based off of what happened in Griff Dog's thing, that bleeds into this. You know, it's hard to say. You know, Jimmy could certainly be a champion. He certainly couldn't be. With all these guys still being around, you know, obviously, you know, Davey, Kowicki, Clifford Allison, Adam Petty, Tim Richmond, eventually Blaze Alexander, and all those guys. You know, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Will ARCA trucks race at Daytona in a divided ending? Actually, I do kind of like to put down who I think would have won in the smaller circuits. I don't have ARCA trucks racing at Daytona. I actually, I have them down as opening the season at Homestead because I just don't know if right away those trucks would want to race on those big on the big super speedways. They have raced at tracks like Kentucky Speedway and all that in the past, so, you know, at the most a mile and a half, focus more on like short tracks and stuff like that. Basically, just that was kind of like my idea of what the ARCA truck schedule would be like. I think they would steer clear of Daytona and Talladega. Who knows? That could change, but yeah. All right, I think I will go until 8:30. If anybody has any more questions or they're curious about something, like I said, right now with my channel, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm kind of shuffling things around right now and making sure this channel's main focus is, you know, NASCAR and the creative Enter 2003 stuff and all that. I am planning as you've seen, I had a mini series called ARB Alex's Random Biz. The plan is that is going to become a second channel. And obviously, all my memes and stuff like that is on my TikTok as well. So yeah, feel free to check that out. I put memes on there every now and then and all that. Yeah, what Jet said here. Feel free to shoot questions about the designs for the series as well. So, yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite divided ending finish? There were some good finishes. I really liked the ARCA finish at Atlanta in 2018 between Eric Jones and Kyle Busch. I was kind of picturing in my head the clip of Tony Stewart chasing down Kevin Harvick in I think it was the 2007 Brickyard 400 when Tony went, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty." That's basically what it felt like with that finish, and I had that vibe with "Shut Up and Drive." playing in the background. I won't sing it because I don't want to get copyrighted. So, you probably know what I'm talking about. Another one for sure. Oh gosh, there's been some fun finishes. Coke 0400 in 2017 between Stremme and Casey Mears. It's funny too because I think Jet brought this up later. In part of Griff Dog's Dale Earnhardt thing, if you remember in 2013, Casey Mears and Matt Kenseth were literally neck and neck coming to the line to win the Daytona 500. And according to the scoring, Kenseth had won, but he kind of left it like, what do you think happened? So, unfortunately, the same thing happened to Mears here between he and Stremme. That's another thing I liked about what if Dale Earnhardt was still alive. The fact that David Stremme became a really good, became one of the best drivers in NASCAR. I just, for whatever reason, I loved that. I thought that was pretty cool. So, which I can't help but now look at, looking at someone like a Dakota Armstrong, who again is a Daytona 500 winner in this timeline. That something like that changes your career forever. I'll watch the 2018 ARCA Atlanta finish after stream. Yeah, absolutely. And once again, seriously, guys, thank you so much for all your support and the fact that, I have the support I have now is pretty awesome, and I really am thankful for that. And thank you to everybody who's tuned into this stream. Seriously, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That I really appreciate it. So, I'm a little tired, but I'm pushing through. Blurst idea, ARCA to flip off Brian France. Runs a second Daytona race, but on the back straight short track. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember they did that for a little while. David Stremme becoming dominant would be crazy. Oh, yeah. I mean, when you because this is based off of Griff's thing. Obviously, Stremme's a 3-time Daytona 500 champion. I think it was 07, 2010, and 2014. Roblox and Minecraft fan. Well, I'm going. Bye, Alex. Take care, Roblox and Minecraft fan. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I really appreciate you. Take care, man. Much obliged to not just be a supporter of yours, but a friend as well. Thank you, MF. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. I almost said a minute again. Damn it. An hour and 23 minutes into this. So now we are officially a minute longer than the Divide Ending video. I remember making this video, and I'm sitting there going, oh my god, it's going to be past an hour with this video. But still, that is the biggest video I've made yet. And I'm just really, again, I made a couple of oopsies with the audio in there, but overall, I'm proud of the video, and I hope, and basically, I do want to create more content like that, and that will be the plan. To create more content like that. I'll stay on here for a few more minutes, and then I'll probably jump off here. So yeah, if you have any more questions, fire away. For at least the next few minutes. So. Who knows? Maybe I might try to do more streams a little more often. Get some friends in here and, have some fun discussions and stuff like that. That'd be fun. Alex originally told me the video would be about 45 minutes, and then look what happened. I thought so too, because, I don't know. I guess I think that was the length of the first video, and I just kind of compared it to that, but I guess, I'm covering 2 seasons and all this stuff, and I almost made a movie, essentially. Wolf Gaming Network. Brayton Lasser to ARCA and Divide Ending. Yes! Absolutely. Absolutely. We get Brayton in there. And my buddy Michael Klein, too. Get him in there, too. Why not? Absolutely. That would be cool. Again, just all kind of nets out, see what happens, Anything to grow your channel would be good to see. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I really want to try and grow this channel a little bit more. I definitely want to try and do that. I've had this channel since 2009. This has been the one channel that I've stuck with forever. And, yeah, I don't know why, but considering the fact that I made a bunch of awful, cringy content over the years, this is some of my best content yet, and I'm seriously proud of it. So we'll keep moving forward. We'll keep pushing forward. And yeah. Oh, here we go. Question in real life. Do you think Kyle Busch is going to RCR? Oh, man. Can you imagine Kyle Busch in the 8? I don't... Oh, gosh, I don't really know where... This is all such a mystery. I don't really know where Kyle Busch is going to go. Part of me is like, I think he's going to Kaulig. Part of me is like, maybe RCR? Him going to 2311 would be odd. Just the fact that that is technically like, you know, the B tier team behind JGR at Toyota. So unless, you know, there are plans for him to replace his brother, I don't really know what's going on. So hopefully, you know, we'll hear an announcement soon. Unless I found that funny when I think it was it last week, Kyle Busch came into the media center and was like, I have a big announcement to make. You guys ready for this? There's no announcement. I love that so much. I know some people don't like Kyle Busch, but I love the sense of humor there because just to troll at people. That was so funny. But yeah, I don't really know where Kyle Busch is going to go. I'm thinking Kaulig or RCR. You know, MF. I think Kaulig was one of the teams. I think it was Kaulig, 2311, and Junior were looking to get a charter. So perhaps Kaulig may try and get a charter so that maybe it's Justin Haley, Kyle Busch, and then the third car can be, you know, rotation. I guess in divided ending, Germain Racing doesn't fold because Hamlin already runs a Cup team. You make a good point there. Again, we'll just see what happens. You know, I can't tell you right now what's going to happen to certain teams, but just kind of all depends how things go. So, yeah. I mean, one thing for certain, I mean, Casey Mears has been in the Cup Series much longer now because Ty Dillon is over in ARCA and all that. So, they just kind of hung on to Casey. So, Wolf Gaming Network, if you ever need crazy ideas for Divide Ending, shoot me a DM on Discord. I'll give you some, because my brain is mostly crazy ideas for 2003. I mean, hey, I'm open to hear some suggestions and ideas for sure. Absolutely. I appreciate it. You know, I'm always trying to keep the ideas coming and keep them flowing, and therefore I have a lot to work with, and I can pick apart like, hey, how could this work? Could I use this? That kind of stuff. Oh, I didn't see this question earlier. Divide ending. You said Danica Patrick wanted Charlotte. Can you explain why you chose Danica? So, in this timeline, Danica never went full NASCAR. She stuck with IndyCar, because that's what Griff had in What If Dale Earnhardt's Still Alive. So, eventually what ends up happening is, you know, Danica sticks with IndyCar. She ends up winning some more races. You know, pretty solid career. In IndyCar, she's made out of herself. So, in 2018, she decided, you know what? This is going to be my final season. I'm going to go out and run the Indy Charlotte double. Because I think at this point, she'd probably do it. So that's how her and GoDaddy aimed to deal with Penske, to do a one-off for the 600 and run both races. And just by the magic of NR 2003, Danica won the 600. So, how about that? I was sitting there as the laps were ticking away, and I'm watching like, oh my god, are you serious? But, it's pretty cool, you know. I love goofy stuff like that. I'm going to be with Honest. Can you see... I'm assuming that's Kyle. I can see Kyle going to RCR, not in the 8. I can see him going to the 33. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just kind of depends. You know, and if Kyle does go to RCR, then you have to ask, does Tyler Reddick still stay there another year? Because obviously, Reddick signed a contract with 2311 that's not going to happen until 2024. So, it reminds me a lot of when Casey Kane in 2010 signed a contract to join Hendrick in 2012, and he had that wait season. So, depending on, if Kyle goes to RCR, what Kurt ends up doing, I believe what will happen is I could see Kurt Busch sitting out the rest of the season and then come back, and his last season's 2023. So, I don't know. That's just my best guess. Kyle's the one domino right now that we're just waiting to see, and then the rest are going to fall. So, Kyle is carrying everything right now, and I'm interested to see how this ends up. So, yeah. If he goes to the RCR, you wonder if Tyler Reddick ends up going to 2311 already. We'll see. And of course, the other thing is... what was I just going to say? Oh, I'm pretty confident if Kyle really leaves Jogus Racing that Ty Gibbs is probably going to go to the 18. I mean, I don't think Ty Gibbs has anything else left to prove besides winning an Xfinity championship. Has anyone other than Danica done the Indy Charlotte double in a divided ending? Not yet. Danica's the only one, but that could certainly change. You never know. Another option for Kyle that originally popped up in the rumor mill was Stewart-Haas Racing. Yeah, I thought that's where he could have gone, but with Amarola coming back and all that, that pretty much went out the window. But then it was Rick Ware Racing. There's no way Kyle would willingly. I mean, unless maybe he gets like a stake in ownership, but still, yeah, I mean, I think it'd take a lot. I think that's even a bigger downgrade than Keselowski going to RFK. And then again, like, I look at RFK Racing, and I think that team will get better. I mean, Chris Buescher, he's a good driver. He's a damn good driver. I know he is. So, I think it'll take time, but I think RFK is going to get better. And I can say the same thing for RCR. I can say the same thing for Petty GMS. Also, the 2023 schedule has yet to be released because the big thing holding up apparently is a new date for the... Yeah, so I guess right now, from what it seems, the All-Star race is kind of just trying to figure out where it's going to be. I have no idea where they could put it. One idea I had... RFK swept the duels and did nothing since. Well, to be fair, Buescher has come close to winning quite a few times this year. Buescher's going to find victory lane at some point. I am convinced he will. But yeah, if you wanted to give me if I gave a suggestion for the All-Star race, if we're going to continue this Atlanta plate racing thing, why not just do that for the All-Star race? Could make things a little more interesting that way. That would be my 2 cents. And that Richmond and Kansas would lose their 2 dates. Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, if you take away a date from Richmond, I think Iowa makes a great replacement because it's also a short track and kind of out in a different location. Because something that I think Slapshoes brought up was the 3 short tracks on the Cup schedule are all within the same region. One in eastern Tennessee and 2 of them in Virginia. So, and obviously it looks like Auto Club could be becoming one as well. So, yeah. As for the other one, I don't know. Maybe NASCAR goes international and goes to Canada or Mexico City. I think Canadian Tire comes back because that was taken off because of the restrictions of the really sucky virus that's been going on. Yeah, so I don't really know besides that because this involves ISC and all that, not necessarily SMI, except for the All-Star race. I don't know. I want to say something about Kentucky because it's my home track, but I don't want to. I don't want people to be like, what the heck is wrong with you? So we'll go ahead and skip that for now. Does ARCA have a race that goes head-to-head with the 600? Not in the same time slot, but Thanks for taking my thoughts. I didn't mean it. I was thinking kind of the same thing too. I promised, Jet. But yeah, ARCA. The idea of that is Iowa is treated as a Memorial Day race for ARCA, but it runs Monday night, the day after the 600. So therefore, it's not already competing with the Indy 500 and the 600 and Monaco, They decided to be like, hey, let's do a fun little Monday night NASCAR thing, Kind of like Monday Night Football with the NFL. That was essentially my idea for that. So if you see Iowa on the schedule, my idea was that I treat that as like our ARCA's version of Memorial Day, out there in the Midwest, out in the cornfields of Iowa. It's corn! If anybody has seen that remix. Of course, if I'm going to talk about Korn, I have to talk about the band. But once again, I will not be quoting their music because I'm afraid of copyright. So, yeah, I think Buescher could win at either the Roval or Talladega. Yeah, I mean, he finished third at the Roval last year. I remember I went there and I was like, holy crap, Buescher's third. How about that? That was fun, getting to go to Charlotte again. I hadn't did that. I went to the 2006 Coca-Cola 600 when I was a kid. And last year, it was really fun to get back there. I can believe Jeremy Mayfield has 40 career wins in that timeline. Certainly. I mean, I know Dale explained that Mayfield had a bigger influence or from Earnhardt, or like, Earnhardt kind of influenced Yates to be like, hey, pick up Jeremy Mayfield, and because of that, none of his issues ever occur. And he pretty much retires at the end of 2015, obviously right as the point of divergence starts in that whole situation. So, yeah. Whew. Yeah. But, yeah, going back to the 2023 schedule, I don't know. Obviously, we got the Chicago Street Course. We know the Clash is going back to L.A. I don't know. I have a feeling there's not going to be as many. After that, I don't think there's going to be many changes. Obviously, I'm going back to Gateway. I want to do that again with my dad. That was a lot of fun. What made me happy, too, was I was very scared that Gateway was with the parking pass thing they were doing. I was scared that they were going to have a lot of parking and traffic issues. They didn't. Track was sold out with like 60,000 people. We got out of there lickety-split. Because, the good part was it's right there next to I-70, and literally from where I sat, I could see downtown St. Louis right there. So it was just kind of like, wow. That and it makes me mad because as someone who grew up going to Kentucky Speedway, why didn't that go well? But yeah, also I do wonder how Noah Gragson could help elevate. Yeah, I mean, I think Gragson will help the team. He and Eric Jones, I'm intrigued to see how they do next season, for sure. Are you going to do What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive 2022? If so, how does Dale feel about the next gen car? Hey, Dave, how you doing, man? But anyway, I kind of talked about this earlier. I put it on hold. Some point I might get back to it. I don't know. Mainly because I just started working on a divided ending and Sunday Night Lights and all that. I'm not sure how Dale would think of the next gen car. I don't really know. That's a good question. Could you see the New Hampshire Roval being ARCA's version of the Charlotte Roval? I don't know. Obviously, I know New Hampshire's road course is rather unique. And there is a track for that in NR 2003. But I know right now the road courses that are on the ARCA schedule are New Jersey and Sebring. I think that was it. Yeah. So that's kind of where ARCA stands right now. And keep in mind, ARCA is not really going for the gimmicks, more that they're just sticking to the traditional stock car racing. And they have, a few dirt tracks on the schedule. They got Knoxville and DuQuoin and all that on there. So something to think about for sure. I like how I said I try to wrap up by 8:30 and it's 8:43. We're going on an hour and 40 minutes. I did not say a minute 40 this time. You know why I probably said that? It's because I work at a TV station and I help count the news back in from break. So, I'll get on the thing, the mic that goes to the control room, and I'll say like a minute 30, because letting them know that you're a minute and 30 seconds away from going back on the air. Or something like that, Oh, man. I'm tired. Let's see. Since Gregson is leaving JRM after this year, who could go to JRM's 9 car? Oh, man. That's a good question. I think Carson Hocevar would be a good option. I think he could do really well in a JRM car. Obviously, funding is a huge thing. So I don't know how much funding Hocevar would bring. But if I had to choose, I think Hocevar would be a really good decision. I think he's a very talented driver. And I think he'll get a win at some point. I think he's too good. He'll get a win. Besides that, I don't really know. It's unfortunately, it just kind of depends. Especially with funding. Obviously, that's a big thing. Making sure that the team's fully funded and they keep up the competition and all that. But I think Hocevar could be a top candidate for sure. So yeah. All right. Well, besides that, seriously, thank you all again for the support and everything else. I really appreciate it. And the video for Divide Ending has almost reached 500 views. Very thankful for that. I think I'll go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Seriously, thank you everybody for tuning into this stream. Maybe I'll try and do more streams down the road, depending on things. Again, it could be something fun to do. Just kind of depends. I'm going to try and rest up because I think I need it. Last couple of days, I've had to go into work at 4 a.m. But, what is Dave saying here? Do you think that the Chicago Street Course being on the Cup schedule for a few years could provoke a lower series like Trucks or ARCA to return to Chicagoland? I know it was said that they would not consider going back to Chicagoland until the deal wraps up with the Street Course, which I think at that point, if that deal wraps up, they'll probably go back to Chicagoland. Also, I think JGR could bring back the 20 in Xfinity next year, but it comes down to either Nemechek or Chandler Smith. Yeah, I could see Chandler Smith going up to Xfinity. What I'm intrigued with is if Ty Gibbs does take the 18, like I think, if Kyle Busch leaves JGR, who takes the 19 if Truex retires after 2023? Is it John Hunter Nemechek? Is it Brandon Jones? I think Sammy Smith needs more time, and of course Chandler Smith too, and all that. You make the content we love, so don't thank us. We, the people, thank you. Thank you so much, Wolf. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like what Jet said. Thank you guys for showing out. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate all the questions, and I'm really excited that you guys are excited. There's a lot more coming, so stay patient, and I got more stuff coming. We got more stuff coming, so some exciting stuff is... I'm tired. Some exciting stuff is on the horizon for sure, so... that'll pretty much do it for this stream. Again, thank you all so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I know it's like Tuesday night, but again, if NASCAR decides to go back to Rockingham, let's just say 2024, how do you think the next gen car is going to perform? Well, I'll answer this real quick. I did Rockingham in the next gen car in iRacing. In the Elite Cup Series, and even though I'm not that good, I'll be honest, Rockingham was not that fun to drive. Obviously it could be a lot different in real life. But I had a lot of issues with Rockingham. I just had a ton of issues. Car kept sliding up the track, kept hitting the wall. It was just, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Seriously, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and everything else. I'll go ahead and let you guys be. Thank you guys so much again. I know I sound like a broken record. And with that, I will see you guys next time, and I'll see you in the next video. Be good to each other and take care, everybody.